Hi everybody, old guy here, and it's No Shave November, as proclaimed by Tyler Zed. Go over to his channel and have a chuckle or two. And the novels today are these two Scott Turow novels.
Wait.
This one, to get this in proper framing there, and this one. And what it is I just keep running into Scott Turow novels when I'm out and about, and I keep buying them because it's Turow, and he's a go-to author. You know, once you prove yourself, you remain one of my favorites, unless you unprove yourself. I'm looking at you, Stephen King.
Oh my God, Stephen King!
And N.K. Jemisin. You know, you can add your own to this list. The first one is The Laws of Our Fathers, that one, which was published in 1996 and is the fourth Kindle County novel. And I'll tell you, it is dangerously close to Turow's unproving of himself because, wow, does this read like old hippies justifying the stupid crap that we did back in those days, you know, sex and drugs and rock and roll.
Rock and roll!
And revolution.
Dumbass!
Here we have 6 or 7 people who all knew and interacted with each other back in the good old hippie Black Panther heydays.
Because it's politics, man, politics.
And somehow all end up in Kindle County decades later because of a murder trial. Kindle County, which is modeled on Chicago, where a lot of those old SDS terrorists,
He's the president of the Berkeley chapter of SDS,
ended up as tenured university professors.
I'm guessing you're a tenured professor at the People's Republic of Berkeley.
A drive-by shooting in the worst of the Kindle County projects takes the life of June Edgar.
Look out! Drive-by Deanie!
Wife of prominent state assemblyman and former radical chic terrorist Loyal Edgar. Now, what in the world was June doing down there in the first place? Well, this becomes the basis for the murder trial because it looks very much like June and Loyal's son, Niles, a sad sack probation officer who has that job only due to Dad's influence, arranged for the drive-by to take out Loyal, not knowing that dear old Dad had, at the last moment, asked June to take the meeting with notorious gang leader Hardcore to discuss mobilizing the projects for votes.
I'm an activist now.
After indictments and arrests and subpoenas are served, murder charges against Niles end up before Judge Sonny Klonsky, who first makes her appearance in The Burden of Proof, which I briefly reviewed before. Daddy Loyal sure has a tendency to make a lot of last-minute changes to things that end up ruining someone else's life, as you'll see in the many flashbacks to those fabulous 60s.
It was the 60s.
Which trace the many illicit ties between the Edgars and Sonny and a columnist named Seth Weisman, who is Sonny's old hippie days flame, but now he is named Harold Frayne with an E on the end, or Frayne without the E on the end. But then he's not Harold, and what in the world is going on? You will somewhat find that out as this book plods along, juxtaposing the 60s stuff with the current trial and how all of these people fit together, literally, how they fit together at one point or another, or wanted to fit together, or missed their chance to fit together, which they then make up for during the current situation.
666.
This is about 200 pages longer than it needed to be because Turow can't help waxing poetic about all those wonderful love generation hippies and their ideals and innocence, and all they were trying to do was make the world a better place.
The 60s brought the hippie breed.
Yeah, you know, things got a little out of hand and bombs exploded and people got hurt, but hey, their hearts were in the right place.
Hey, it was the 60s.
So maybe it's better to start the revolution by, undermining the system, backing an affable, pleasant frontman to impose your radical leftist policies on this bourgeois society.
I am the front man.
Reversible Errors, the 6th Kindle County novel published in 2002, is almost another attempt by Turow to unprove himself, except it keeps moving from one unbelievable situation to another with the hope that it will all come out in the wash. It's another It's another Turow demonstration of the law being an ass, where he kindly shows you that your reliance on the court and procedure and evidence is a fool's confidence.
If that's what the law supposes, sir, then the law's a ass.
It's enough to make you lose your faith in the system or something, like maybe we ought to just let all the prisoners out and stop charging people with crimes because the courts are just throwing innocent people in jail right and left and letting all the guilty people get away with it. Man, defund the courts, defund the police, and then there won't be any more crime. Rami Gandalf is a sad sack convict on Murder Row for the past 10 years with all of his appeals now exhausted and is on his way to Old Sparky.
Warm up the electric chair, Lou.
When he suddenly declares he didn't do it. It being a triple murder and sexual assault inside a diner one early winter morning. Oh, of course, every criminal didn't do it, but Rami says he has proof. So the court assigns successful corporate lawyer Arthur Raven to represent Rami's new appeal based on this new evidence. Just what Arthur, who is somewhat of a sad sack himself, needs, and he and his gorgeous clerk Pamela go through the motions because it's a nice learning experience for her, and, well, look at this. Rami
Very poor choice of words.
Rami might actually have something there.
You're kidding.
Despite that Rami knew the victims, had threatened to kill one of them, and confessed to the murders when he was first arrested 10 years before, there's a doubt that Rami was even in the area when it happened. What? Is the guy stupid or something?
Don't call me stupid.
Well, yeah, he is, and it looks very much like his confession was coerced, and suddenly we are off to the races, with about 300 or 400 very flawed horses contending with each other. There's the case detective Larry Starzyk, who firmly believes he got the right man, even if he had to use a little unethical behavior to do so.
I like this job.
And the original prosecutor, Muriel Wynn, who is now running for Attorney General and who has had an on-again, off-again affair with Larry, and you get to experience some very explicit on-agains, off-agains with them.
It's all about sex, sex.
Yeah.
Arthur himself becomes enamored with the original case judge, Gillian Sullivan, who has herself been recently released from prison for bribery.
Criminal.
What? Yeah, There's a lot of very bad people in this, and just about all of them are not believable.
I suspect conspiracy.
Including the exculpatory witness, a former cop named Erdai, or something like that, who shot his mother-in-law accidentally, and then a few years later shot a guy in a bar, not quite so accidentally, and ended up in the Hooskow.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Guess who confesses to the diner shooting? On his deathbed. In prison.
Oh, brother.
The big problem I have with this is Rami's willingness to serve as a patsy to people he didn't even like.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Really? For 10 years? On death row?
You really expect us to buy that?
That's just beyond idiocy. That's simply unbelievable. I'm not buying it. And Turow's parade of witnesses and evidence, convinces me that this whole story is nothing more than a defense lawyer's fantasy.
The science of deduction.
Which is why I guess you call it fiction. Old guy here. See you later.